Welcome all of you to the Federation of Andhra Pradesh Chambers of Commerce and Industry. I'd like to welcome all the members, past presidents, committee members, also to this very important meeting on excise and service tax. So I'd like to give a brief industry perspective of the current status industry is in so that the interaction can have a little more meaning. We are today in a situation where worldwide there is total uncertainty. We don't know what is going to happen to Greece, we don't know what is going to happen to Euro, we don't know what is going to happen to the US economy. Japan has been downgraded. In this situation, our exports are down, dollar is up, and industry is in a quandary as to what to do next. Coming to India, the situation seems to be getting even worse. I keep telling everybody, India starts with I, and all our problems also seem to be starting with I. Our biggest problem is inflation. Inflation is already in double digits or close to double digits. And wage inflation is higher still, which is hurting industry even more. A wage inflation of 10% will keep our industrialist friends today very, very happy. The wage inflation is of the order of 15 to 20% in most cities. On the other hand, interest rates are going through the roof. We seem to be having a real interest rates of 6 to 7% for industry, which is totally unheard of, especially when we have to compete against the world where the interest rates are zero or negative. So, industry in India seems to be in a very, very tough spot. And it is being reflected by the third I, which is the industrial production, IIP numbers. And we seem to be in a negative territory there. For a country like India with a very, very low base and a huge amount of poverty, any industrial production less than 8 to 10% is actually a recipe for disaster. We would have today been in the midst of a civil war had it not been for the wage inflation. We are just lucky that at the lowest level there is a wage inflation and the people at the lowest level are being protected. But it is coming at a cost to industries, to industrial activity and industrial growth. Sir, on top of all the situations in Andhra Pradesh, in India, in Andhra Pradesh we have a peculiar situation. We are even worse off. Last 2 years we are facing the uncertainty of the Telangana agitation, and industry in Hyderabad has been hit continuously with bunds, uncertainty. We don't know whether we'll be able to work continuously for the next month. And to top it all, last 6 months we have been having continuous power cut to an order of magnitude of 30 to 40% of power cut. So when situation becomes bad, in the olden days there used to be a saying that if there is a drought, the king, the benevolent king, used to come to the region and say, "Ye saal ka tax maaf kiya. I have waived off the taxes for this year." I know it is impractical to think of those terms in today's economy, modern economy. Revenue has to be collected, things have to be spent. But sir, last time when we had the similar situation in 2008 we came to a similar situation where everything was bad. What was our policy response? Our policy response was the excise duty, which was 16% in 2007, within a period of less than 14 months, was brought down to 8% to give some fillip to industry. What was the other policy response? The interest rates, which were around 10%, was brought down to 6.5%. I still remember the days when L&T could raise finances at 5.5%, and I was discussing with my finance person, why do I have to pay 6.5% for my commercial paper? Today when I want to raise finances, I have to pay more than 14% interest, I have to pay 12% excise duty. So somehow there is a policy mismatch in this country. I know that all solutions cannot be met in this room, but it's just the industry perspective and pain which I thought I will share with you, so that at least wherever possible, there is a lenient view, there is time given, and there is a a margin of error which is given to industry. That is what I would request from this situation. Sir, my particular passion has been industry and manufacturing. We in India today have a manufacturing sector as a percentage of GDP which is 16%. The Prime Minister of India says 16% GDP as a percentage of GDP for manufacturing is not enough. We should try and take it to 25%. But what is happening is all our policy actions, like I mentioned earlier, are only taking it backward. In fact, in our state, Andhra Pradesh, manufacturing is only 10% of the GDP, which is a very, very dismal picture for our state. In spite of that, in the latest budget, if you see, there was an increase of 2% in excise duty and 2% in service tax. I know a lot of my friends are here from service industries also, but I would like to still make a point. Services today constitute 60% of our economy. And this 2% increase in either of these two areas led to an increase of 28,000 crores in excise duty and only 16,000 crores in service tax. Why should a sector which is 1/4 of the other sector pay so much more? That is a question which I feel should become a part of our national discourse and thinking. Sir, before I conclude my welcome, I would like to just say that Andhra Pradesh, even though it is small, is growing very, very fast. And in excise duty, our SETSAT is only in Bangalore. I think there is a case that we have the benches in Hyderabad so that all our people don't have to run back and forth from Hyderabad to Bangalore for every small case which goes all the way to SETSAT.